Welcome to the International Racing League, Season 1 of the GT Sport League, Round 3. Unfortunately, last week we couldn't stream footage of the race due to connection issues to the stream and that, and there was a problem with YouTube and everything. But other than that, we are back, and we're back up and running just straight after IRL F1. If you want to check that out, that will be, well, it should actually now just be fully uploaded onto the channel. But unfortunately, we'll be going underway in the GT Sports race very soon. As we've got a new driver, I believe Tim, he's a new driver today. He's in the Porsche 911. As Lee Kelly has made it today in the Nexus esports racing car. And he will be the first one to go out, it looks like. Oh, and a few others. So, I believe that is Chris Ryan who's out on track, as I'll just get everything correct. It's actually Chris Ryan who is out on first on track. There we go. As Chris is out on track, Sondre has ran extremely wide into turn 4 there, into turn 5 now. Like Chris Ryan is going into the turn 6 now, just getting warmed on his tyres, on the set medium tyres. Oh, as he's really losing the back end there of the car, really fighting that Mercedes-Benz. As I'll just share this to the chat before he's about to start his lap. As Chris is now approaching the last 2 corners now. So it's season 3, not season 1. I will change that. My apologies. I'll be changed right now while the stream is up and running. I got told it was season 1. Okay, I can't change it right now. As Chris actually pits, it will be Sondre Sorhaug. He will be the first one to start his lap on a set of super soft tyres for the fastest tyres on that Ford GT Mustang with the Coca-Cola Racing team. I believe it's Coca-Cola Ford Racing. As here we go now, nice and tidy as far. Chris Ryan is now coming out of the pits. Chris is going to have to get out of the way of Sondre, since Sondre is on a lap. And now here comes Sondre into turn 3 now. A bit wide. That could have been a penalty there given, slow him down a bit because he went over the white line. Because in this game the penalties are not like F1 where it's an invalidation. You will get penalised on your lap. And currently now through the fast right hander, nice and tight so far from Sondre. The rear end's not kicking out at all there. Great driving from Sondre. Probably getting a tiny bit of dirty air there from Chris Ryan. Nonetheless though, Sondre will be the first one to set a lap. See what he does. He is on a full tank of fuel, so when everyone's on low fuel, expect quicker lap times. As here comes Sondre Sorhaug down the final corner, down the main long straight. Let's see what he can do. What time is it going to be? It's going to be a 1 minute 33.4. So the fast lap currently now is 1:33.4. What about Lee Kelly? Lee Kelly is nowhere near that time, so Lee Kelly must have made a mistake. He is on mediums, however, and he's going to set a 1:41 point. Well, it's actually 1:41 flat there. As Tim looks like he is on a competitive lap. Who's ahead of him though? Tim or Chris Ryan? It's actually Tim. Oh, Sam's actually going to be another person who's on that outlap right now. But Tim is on the lap, currently purple in sector 1 apparently. Let's see what he can do. Nice and tidy so far through the left hand corner. Oh, Tuzuk needs to get out of the way. I believe that's actually a randomer. As I'm just going to have to tell Lance to kick the randomers out. Unless he is actually a driver. I don't know, I think he is a random now. However, Tim is now approaching the final corner. What time is it going to be in the Porsche 911? Let's see what time he can do. A 1 minute 32. Sorry, not a 1 minute 31. For some reason the time didn't come up there. 131.8. Their new pole position lap time against Sondre. 1.6 seconds quicker than Sondre there. As Chris Ryan takes second place. 4/10. 4:44 off Tim there, but 1.16 quicker than Sondre already. Wood is purple now on a lap currently. He's the fastest in the Lexa car. See how he can do today. He has been my teammate for 2 seasons. He's pretty good in the Group 3 series. Fortunately, he had a bit of problems in the Group 4 getting used to the Mercedes and the Ferrari engine car. Let's see what Wood can do around the Brazil track today in the Lex. See if he can get a podium and try and get his championship hopes alive as he's coming around the final corner now. Let's see what time it's going to be. Down the mid strip into 6th gear, almost touching 150 miles an hour. What time is it going to be? A 1:32 flat. Promotes himself to P2 of qualifying as far. SRL Sam, new driver today, one of the newest drivers, got 4th place. Great livery with the Toyota there. He is in P4, ahead of Sondre by 600ths of a second faster. And Lance, now the new driver, not one of the new drivers, who will be the first person now in his Mercedes, the only person in his Mercedes since his teammate is not here today. Lance will be on his qualifying lap right now. I believe it is called Jack Fox Race, and I believe their team is called. However, I know Lance really wants to pick up the pace this season because he did well at Brands Hatch, I believe, and had a bit of an altercation with a few of the drivers. However, he was having a good start. So there's Lee Kelly now coming out of the pits as Rob is in P8 right now. Not done a lap, I believe. I know Lee's done a lap. Is Tim still the fast lap? 1:31.8. No one has beat it as far yet. What about Lance? Let's see what time he's going to be in Sector 1. Let's wait and see. Actually, it's not coming up with his delta when it was showing Woodard with his first lap. But however, let's see what lap Lance can do. Right now, he's going nice and tight as far. No car rear end snapping out like Chris Ryan did at a certain corner. Unfortunately, had to back down from his lap. See what Lance can do. Some floor in that car, not letting any ease. A bit of a correction there mid-corner, which could have lost him a bit of time. Now, runs a bit wide. Hits the curb. Back end kind of kicks out, but he keeps it under control in the Mercedes. Let's see what time he's going to do. As Wood is in the pits to get a new fresh set of super softs. Chris Ryan now takes P2 from Wood there, I believe. So let's see what Lance can do. It's going to be a 1:33.5 there, and promotes up to P6 ahead of Lee Kelly now, who is on a lap, and we'll stay on board with Lee. Then we'll go on Rob, I believe, is on an out lap right now. See what Lee can do in the Ford Mustang, I believe, the modernized Ford. Got to give it that though. It is a very decent livery what Sondre Sorhaug did for the Nexus team there. Lee currently 6/10 improvement in Sector 1 on a set of mediums, so he's still on mediums there. See what Lee can do. I believe now he's approaching Sector 2 very shortly. See if he's going to be up on his time. He's currently 6/10, still 2.1 seconds off Lance. We're going to set supers. 8/10 currently right now, so he's not going to get an extra place, but he's going to be quite closer to Lance right now, probably 1 second off. Let's see what Lee Kelly can do, because I know Lance is also on super soft tyres. As Lee runs a bit wide there. Gets a bit of the grass on his tyres. See what time he's going to do as Jeremy Pope now has joined the session. And here comes Lee Kelly, 134 point. There? 134? He has improved, but it said on my screen he did a 34. There we go, it's fixed stuff now. 134.7 there. In front of the 6th place now. We'll go on board with Rob, who does a 133 flat on a set of supers, promotes himself to 4th place. His teammate is here. As we can see, Sondre now is on a lap. Tyres won't be the best, however, his fastest lap currently right now, it was on his 6th lap, 132.3, and promotes himself to 3rd place. Chris Ryan is not in the lead, because Tim is actually 8th, after he's, I believe, pit for fresh tyres. Sondre Sorhaug picked up the pace from somewhere. He's 3/10. Oh no, that is it. That will definitely be time penalty added to his time because the game adds it there. And yes, it's 5/10 of a second, so he needs to cut 5/10. That will lose him the purple sector. He was 3/10 up in sector 1. Would have lost probably 2/10 for running wide, and he's going to lose a lot more time. It's very unfortunate there from Sondre, as it says Wood is currently first, but he's not. It is actually Tim, who's currently now come back out on track. I believe he should come back out on track in the lead. As Jeremy Poole, hang on a minute. I've just got to make yourself. That's Jeremy. Okay, that. Just having a look at that there. Alright. Apologies for the blue screen there. As we'll go on board with Jeremy Knight now, since he is the defending champion from Group 4 and Group 3. Good second, he's had a very easy championship last... Well, so not an easy championship last season, he had a very tough championship last season, but having 4 championships, 2 titles in Group 4 and Group 3 is very impressive. It just shows the skill and commitment Fly can do around this track in the GT Sport. But will Jack Meir have his revenge? Unfortunately, he can't race today. But will he have his revenge this season and beat Jeremy Pope by 1 point this season? We'll have to wait and see. As Jeremy is about to start his lap now, coming up to the final corner in the BMW M6. As Rob's now set the new fastest lap, 131.5, ahead of Tim currently. So Rob's found some pace. He was struggling last season with the Group 4 and almost left the series. But he's come back and he's in provisional P1 in the GT3 so far. As Jeremy is flying right now, approaching into Sector 1, 1/10 quicker than his teammate in first place. Will Jeremy and Rob have an easy constructors this season again, after there wasn't that many people close enough to challenge him last season, after the Ferrari Haas racing team, Rich Energy Haas, and the Ferrari Nexus racing team unfortunately couldn't catch Jeremy's team. Even with Rob having a few not that many good races. However, though, I believe Fly High and Rob are going to be at their max pace this season, because right now Rob's showing that he can pick up the pace when he needs. Currently now the new fast lap, 131.2, so he's improved even more. But not to worry, Jeremy's still a 10th quicker. Is the driver ahead of him on an outlap? No, he's not. Fly High's driver ahead of him is on the exact same flying lap as him. So will Sam take the lead, or will Jeremy take the slipstream away and stop him taking pole position and ruin Rob's day? Because here comes Jeremy Pope now around the final corner, approaching into the line. What time is it going to be? It's going to be a 1:30.9, 2/10 quicker there than his team. And there's a bit of contact between him and Sam, but currently Fly High and Rob, 2 teammates, first and second currently right now. Right down there from these 2. As well as got a penalty of 4/10 there. As Tim's improving, has to fight ahead of Sam. Sam gets out of the way, but not quickly enough. That could have been a bit of time there for Tim, who was currently the leader a few laps before he pitted, but now he's currently 4th. Chris Ryan is in 5th. Sondre is in 6th, still got that 3/10 of a penalty added to his time, and would have set a 1:32 flat. Another improvement. Not good enough to challenge the front runners right now after he was purple in one of the sectors but made a mistake. Lee Kelly is up on his time, as we'll stay on board with Lee Kelly now in the Nexus Esports racing team. Nice and tight there so far from Lee. No mistakes after the youngster is doing F1 and GT Sport. He's had a bit of unlucky starts recently in IRL F1, but in GT Sport now he's new territory for him as well. So see how Lee can do around here. Oh, 300ths of a second down on his current time, and he's still on mediums, but the final has begun. Qualifying is over. Lee will not be able to finish that time, and here is Lance now starting the final. Fly High in the lead in the M6 with his teammate in P2nd with Killer. Third is Tim. Alder is third. Chris Ryan is in... Sorry, Tim's third. Wooder's fourth. Chris Ryan is in fifth. Sondre Sorhaug is in sixth. Sam in seventh. Lee Kelly in eighth. And Lance in last, P9. As off we go, lights out, and Jamie's had a good start, keeps the head of the lead, but Rob's had a terrible start. And look at Lance from P9 straight to P4, already into the lead, into fourth place from the back of the grid. Oh, and there's a car off. There is Tim. Tim is off the track there as Rob gets back his P2. It's Fly High, Rob, then Tim, then Lance, then Sondre, then Sam and Chris Ryan, Lee Kelly, and Wooder is around from the first corner, so something's gone wrong there with Wooder. Now Jeremy is a little bit under pressure from his teammate, but his teammate's really under pressure from Tim and Lance, as Chris Ryan apologised to Wooder, so those two had a bit of contact there. But look at Lance, where's his pace come from? From quali, he was nowhere near these guys, and now he's challenging for the top three. Lance, that Mercedes now wants to get extra points for his teammate Jack Meir. Oh, and there's a huge dive there from Lance, and he's just... Oh, Tim's almost killed Sondre there. Tim was unfortunate. Lance has backed off, knows he's in the wrong, and he's going to let him back through. And great respect and sportsmanship there from Lance there. Loses another position there from Sam and Chris, however, but great sportsman there. And Sondre now sees himself into third place. Great driving there from Sondre to avoid the incident and hold P3. Will he catch up with Rob and Fly High, or will these two waltz off into the distance? As Rob slowly catching up with Jeremy, is Rob now saying to his teammate, I'm going to be quicker than you this season, I want the championship instead of you. Because where's this pace been for Rob? Rob is all over Jeremy right now, and look at this. Look how close, almost banging the rear end, and Rob goes on the inside, can't make the move, goes back into the slipstream to try and get a bit more. He's going to go for a dive on the inside into turn 4. No, he doesn't. Looks like there's an incident further back as well. It's actually SRL Sam, so Sam's had a mistake from somewhere. As Rob and Fly are absolutely battling for pole position currently right now. Two teammates fighting it out right now. Killer has the best sector 1 time right now, 5.3 seconds faster. Currently Jeremy's extending the gap a little tiny bit to Rob now, but Rob is just closing that gap. Currently now 5 tenths. 4 tenths. Will Rob have enough time to catch up? with his teammate Jeremy Pope. We'll have to wait and see. He's going to go around the outside. New fast lap. Killer sets at 131.4. Going on the outside of Jeremy. Is it going to work? As we get a dodgy camera view. Doesn't work there. Tries to switch back. Trying to get a better exit. Stays behind him currently right now. Into turn 3. Centre's corner. He's coming up right behind Jeremy Pope. He's right on the back end of him. Now he's on the inside. A bit of a better exit this time from Rob. But is Rob going to be close enough? 800ths of a second. 700ths of a second. 600. 200. Rob has took the lead of the Brazilian race round 3, and Jeremy can't believe it. He's now in P2. Rob is actually leading this race. Great driving in and great pass there from Rob, and I think that battle is settled already. Jeremy's doing very well on his pace, but unfortunately can't stop Rob overtaking him. Tim has retaken Sondre's on the inside of Tim, but Tim is keeping that position in P3, as now Lance has caught up with Chris Ryan, former teammates but no longer, but both on the same manufacturer of a team, Mercedes, as Lance is all over Chris Ryan now, going on the inside. Now he's going to go on the outside of this corner into this little kink of a hairpin, but nope, stays behind him, as now we see Lee Kelly stays in P7 right now. Loses a bit of time from Lance LeBrun on a set of medium tyres. 3.2 seconds with Wooder now catching up. My former teammate in P8, and Sam's dropped quite off the pace currently right now. He's in P9. Back to the lead though. Rob has pulled up of a gap of 1 whole second against his teammate Jeremy. So you can just tell Rob's a lot faster right now. But Jeremy, it looks like, is saving fuel. So is this a tactic to let Rob push away, try and build up a tiny bit of a gap and probably get ahead of Fly? Or is Jeremy deliberately saving fuel, buying his time to do extra few laps to get ahead of his teammate and pull a bigger gap than anybody else can to try and win this race? Currently now the gap between him and Tim is 7.3 seconds, with Sondre right behind Tim by 0.6 of a second. Sondre wants this 3rd place and he isn't going to give up, as we'll stay on board with this battle for P3. Sondre again is up on his PB by 0.2 of a second in sector 1. Sondre runs a bit wide there, but so does Chris and Lance. Have a bit of contact behind, but luckily no collision, like sent each other off track. I don't know, I don't believe that was anybody's fault. I believe that may have been a racing incident in my point of view, because Lance was on the grass a tiny bit. Sondre is now going to try and catch up with 3rd place Tim. Has lost a bit of time with that little mistake he made. Currently now the gap is 1.6 seconds, no longer a battle. However, this is a battle to have, Lance versus Chris Ryan, and Lance actually slowly catching up with Sondre Sorhaug as Lee, Kelly and Wooder are battling down in the air, but Lee has to be patient, and look where Wooder is. He's on his outside into the fast right-hander. Who's going to make it count? Round the outside, Wooder goes against Lee Kelly. Great move there from Wooder, a very brave move to be in fact. Oh, but Lee Kelly sends it on his inside. What a move from Lee there, trying to attempt to retake the position for P7. Unfortunately cannot make it stick and drops back to P8. However, he's going to stay in the slipstream of Wooder. Going around the outside, he's looking around the outside as Rob is into the pits. The first man to peel in the pits, and so is Rob and Wooder there. So let's see who beats each other on the pit stop, as I don't believe there's any other battles on track. As he's fueling that car out, as Rob is already out on the pits on a set of soft tyres. As Chris well, as Lee Kelly comes out of the pits, Wooder's just ahead of him. Look how close these two are. Lance. Lee's on his same set of mediums now. He needs to pit again then to change his tyres. See what that means, as Jeremy now into the lead of this race. 7.2 seconds currently right now. And the gap between him and his teammate is 22.9 seconds. I don't know what pit stop is around here, as Lance actually got past Sondre Sorhaug. Sondre has got a lot, well, still got a bit more fuel than him, because Lance is running on fumes here right now. However, Lance is still 0.5 up on his time and runs a bit wide, and this is going to open the door for Sondre. Now will Sondre go on his inside and stop Lance pitting? We'll have to wait and see. Sondre's on the outside. Sondre's still on the outside. Is Sondre doing another lap? Yes, he is. Sondre thinks he's got enough fuel to make it round one more time. As Lance peels into the pits, Chris Ryan also peels into the pits, and so does Jeremy Pope. Now, we'll stay on board with Jeremy Pope after. Will he get ahead of his teammates? to wait and see as Jeremy leaves the pit lane. Will he get ahead of his teammate? We'll wait and see. As here comes Killer. He is ahead currently of his teammate, I believe. No, he's not actually. Jeremy is miles ahead of Killer. Rob's made a mistake somewhere or lost a lot of time. But currently, Jeremy is ahead by a whole car there. Actually, Jeremy's underfueled the car compared to Rob. Rob's got basically a full tank, and Sam still needs to pit, and he's in front of Rob there. So that's what probably made Jeremy jump. Killer there, as Lance has only got half a tank. So he's doing a quick lap on these softs, then pitting to the end and making them last. As Wooder's gone in for a fresh set of tyres, as well as League runs extremely wide there and gets a 4/10 time penalty, which he's going to have to remove before it adds to a second time penalty to the end of the race. Now, battle for the lead. Tim versus Sondre Sorhaug, drivers who still need to pit. Sondre's got a 5/10 penalty, but you can just tell Sondre is a bit faster right now because he's under fuel compared to Tim, but probably like by a minuscule, as both drivers will be peeling into the pits. Back to the battle for 4th place. Sam needs to pit, and he's going to go in the pits before Rob can go on his inside. Sam pits, Rob stays out. And now Rob's got a lot of catching up to if he wants to try and beat his teammate currently. But will Sondre get out ahead of Rob? This is going to be close. It looks like he is, because Sondre's only put half a tank in. He may actually get ahead of him. This is going to be extremely close for Rob and Sondre Sorhaug. Rob's slowly catching him up, but it's not going to be quick enough. Sondre Sorhaug is going to take P2 currently right now ahead of Rob there, and Rob will be scratching his head thinking what has just happened. However, Sondre's still got that 5/10 penalty, so he's still not safe, and this is the closest spot we have, I believe, on track currently right now for P2 right now. Lance has made himself back to P4, even that bit of contact he had earlier. He's currently now P4. This gap between Sondre and Rob, 3/10, almost 2/10 of a second. Rob going to go on the inside. He has a look. Sondre sees that he's there. Sondre gives him the space to have a go on the outside. Doesn't go for Rob, as Rob's thinking to do the switchback to go for the inside on the next hairpin. As Rob wasn't close enough there to make a move. As Rob's now coming to the final 2 corners to try and get a good exit compared to Sondre. That 4 GT is something to be reckoned with, as Sondre now pulls a tiny bit away from Rob, less fuel than him, so he will be a bit quicker down the straights and around the corners and everything else compared to Rob. Rob's still got over 3/4 of a tank, as Jeremy still leads, currently not beating the fastest lap, however, as Rob no, so for some reason then Rob was in P2 when he wasn't. As there's blue flags now, I don't know what blue flags are for. There's no one needing blue flags, as Jeremy still leads with a gap of 4.1 seconds currently right now. However, Rob's made a mistake somewhere, because he was really close to Sondre, and now he's 1.7. But look at Sondre. Sondre's actually may have cut the corner. Currently, penalty 1.4 seconds would be added to his time, but it rounds up for some reason to 2 seconds. It's actually 4.2 seconds off Rob there, and he's slowly catching up with less fuel in his car. Tim with a fuel tank of fuel is now under threat from Wooder, who's got a bit less fuel than him. Still a lot, 3/4 of a tank, but will be a bit faster in this situation compared to Tim. As Chris Ryan's also got 3/4 of a tank, currently in P7 right now, as Lee Kelly has ran off the track yet again. Lee Kelly's really struggling in the Group 3 series right now, as he has to watch out from Sam, because Sam is there, and he does just does though. Lee needs to be be careful with his provisional vision against other drivers, and also try and manage to keep that car on track. As now we'll go back on board with the battle for P2. Rob's on the inside. Sondre's probably let him through basically, but Sondre's going to not give in without a fight. Rob on the inside, Sondre on the outside, going neck and neck to the finish line. See what it's going to be. Rob still can't get past him. Now Sondre defends on the inside. Rob's going to go on the outside into turn 1. Who's it going to be? Sondre or Rob? Rob is still there on the outside. Tries to switch back when he tried on Jeremy. Doesn't work. Tries to stay to get a better exit. Oh, almost hits Sondre there on the inside left rear there. As Tim actually now peels back into the pits there for a new set of tyres. As Lee Kelly has left the room. So I believe he's called it quits. And right now, Sondre still got a 9/10 penalty, but still keeping Rob at bay. This is helping Jeremy right now, and Rob cannot feel this. Jeremy's still got a gap over his teammate, around about 4.8 seconds. But this is actually helping Lance, it looks like. Lance is slowly catching up. Now, oh, Sondre's gone extremely wide, and Rob has made his move count. Rob finally gets through as Sondre in the P3 now, but still in a podium position nonetheless, since Tim has peeled into the pits. Now Rob's got a lot of work to do. If he wants to catch his teammate, he will be saving a bit of fuel now. He's got 4.3 seconds to do it. Sondre, however, still not out of this fight between him and Rob. Currently the gap now 0.8 of a second. Sondre could get him back on the straight compared to the BMW M6. The Corvette is a tiny bit faster. See what Sondre can do. However, Rob's managed to keep the gap now to lead, but closed a lot on Jeremy now. 3 seconds the gap is now. Was 4 seconds like a few corners ago. Now it's 3 seconds precisely. Going now 2.7 seconds. However, Sondre is still in 0.8 of a second. Lance is 3.5 off Sondre. Sondre's trying to remove that time penalty right now. Wooder in P5. Currently 6.1 seconds. Currently purple in Sector 1, however. He is currently purple in Sector 1, so will Wooder steal the fastest lap from Rob there? As Chris Ryan in P6 trying to catch up against Lance, as Tim did peel into the pits for another set of tyres and refueled that car to a full tank, a set of soft tyres there. As Sam is in 8th with basically 3/4 also softs in 8th place right now on his own. As Jeremy's gap is getting smaller and smaller against Rob. Now 2.5 seconds, but Sondre has lost a lot of time to Rob there. 1.8 seconds. As Rob runs a bit wide. Now the tyres are now going to start kicking in for Rob soon, because now the tyre wear will be slowing him down a tiny bit compared to Jeremy. Jeremy sit out for another 2 laps, I believe. However, they're almost equal in fuel, but Sondre is still within the taking of Rob, because look at the battle, look how close Rob is gaining compared to Jeremy here right now. So don't count Sondre out of winning this race. Sondre is only 3 seconds from Jeremy right now. Actually less now, 2.8 seconds, but he's still got that 7/10 penalty, which he needs to remove if he wants a chance of winning this race. Now the gap between the two leaders, 9/10 of a second, is in the slipstream now. So Rob is gaining and gaining. This strategy from Jeremy Pope isn't working. Rob is catching him up every time now, it looks like. Because first strategy, Rob got past him within the first lap. Or is this a team game? Let Jeremy give Rob the position and Jeremy save fuel and slow Sondre so much that Rob can pull over the gap, and then let Jeremy fly away and push to its max speed potential. We'll have to wait and see right now. As Jeremy gap is now 1.8 seconds, so killer Rob has made a mistake, and that's cost him a lot of time. 2.1 seconds now, or as Fly now, sorry, I apologise, picked up the pace. We'll have to wait and see, but this battle is going to be close very shortly, since Jeremy was just saving fuel. Still 5/10 down on his PB on lap number 2. As Rob's still struggling, as you can hear the tyres squealing away, but currently now the gap is 2.8 seconds. Now either Rob's backed off and now letting his teammate fly away. Wait and see. But Lance is closing up still to Sondre, 2.8 seconds. Wood has also closed up to Lance, 4.9 seconds, and unfortunately Wooder was actually 4/10 off the fastest lap, 1:31.8. It's very unfortunate there for Wooder there. As Chris Ryan is still in P6 after lap 12. Tim, after he was looking for 3rd place currently, he's 35 seconds off the leader. He is currently in P7 right now, and Sam is in P8, slowly catching up, it looks like, to Tim. Rob's, I don't know what's going on with Rob's car. Is he saving fuel? Because now Fly Eye's flooring it, and it's 4.5 seconds now. This isn't good for Rob, because now Sondre is in a battle zone now, into the slipstream, currently 9 tenths now. Was 6 tenths until he made a little bit of a mistake into that fast right corner. But this is opening the door for Lance as well, as Lance is slowly catching up. Currently the battle between those gap is 2.5 seconds. But if these lot keep battling, Lance will be under, if it was F1, DRS detection point very soon. But Sondre now is picking up the pace. Sondre can actually pick up the pace and actually win races here. Unfortunately, he's not like that in F1. However, he has been doing very well at the start of this season, actually, in the IRL F1 series. However, Sondre's already behind Rob already and is going to overtake him very soon. And Rob is not going to be liking this. And it looks like Rob is saving fuel, but new fastest lap from Jeremy, 1:30.9. Rob peels into the pits, and that gives Sondre more time to start pushing the car. He needs to take that car a few more laps to have a chance to get ahead of Rob, because Rob now will fill his tank up probably to the end and push this car. New fast lap, however, though, 1:30.9, 5 tenths of a second quicker than Rob's time. Jeremy now got a gap from Sondre, 6.5 seconds. Lance lost a bit of time, however, to Sondre, 3.2 seconds now. For some reason it won't let me. For some reason this lobby's a bit bugged here. Rob is in 6th place now, trying to catch up with Chris. There we go, it's fixed itself now. As Fly is still out, not peeling to the pitch yet, still got a lot of fuel, a lot of tyres to burn, so he can go out for a bit longer. Jeremy still in the lead after starting now lap 14, over a gap of 7 seconds over Sondre. But Sondre has a lot less fuel, and Sondre will be peeling into the pits very soon. As Sondre is actually eating now into that battle a little bit, 6.3 seconds. Yeah, it's like 6 tenths there through one corner. So Sondre is now trying to catch up slowly to Fly, as we'll go on board with Rob. Currently the gap between him and the lead is 22.1 seconds. And I believe pit stop round here is around about 18 to 20 seconds in the GT3 cars. But Sondre will need to pit this lap. Let's see how much time he can try and catch ahead of Rob. And also see how much time he can catch on Jeremy. Because currently right now the gap is 7 seconds. However, Lance is now caught back up to Sondre, 2.5 seconds. So these two are going to be battling out very shortly. Lance has got a bit more fuel than Sondre. But look at Wooder. Wooder's come out from nowhere. Got a lot more fuel. And possibly could get a 3rd place from Sondre and steal it from him. Currently P4, Chris Ryan in P5, getting caught quite quickly there from Rob, after Rob's had a full tank of fuel. Let's see how these two can do today. Let's see what Rob can do against Sondre in the pit stop window, because being behind Chris right now isn't helping his chances to stay ahead of Sondre Sorhaug. The battle's getting really close right now. Rob is all over Chris. And Chris can notice this. Even though Rob's still down in his PB on a new set of tyres, he needs this position, and Rob is almost there. As Sondre peels into the pits. Chris Ryan now is in trouble. Rob is all over Chris Ryan right now, but Sondre's peeling in the pits. Will Sondre get ahead of Rob in the pit stops? We'll have to wait and see. As right now, Sondre's still in the pits, This is going to be very close. Rob's going out into turn 1. It looks like Rob's going to keep the position ahead of Sondre by a lot, actually. So Sondre made a few mistakes and a few errors there, and that has cost him a position. However, Rob is flooring it right now. But so is Chris Ryan now on the straights as well. There's also a battle form between Lance and Wooder right now. Currently got 1.2 seconds. Lance is almost 10 seconds behind Jeremy Port. Jeremy needs to win this race to have a chance against Jack Mears. He looks like he's peeling into the pits. No, that was a lapped car, I believe. Sam there. It was Sam who looked like he was peeling the pits. As Jeremy is now approaching the final 2 corners. However, the battle we need to watch right now is Lance and Wooder on lap 15 out of 26. Gap is 7/10 of a second right now. Look how close. Wooder is, I'm losing my voice, apologise for this. 4/10 of a second. How much time Wooder is gaining? Wooder is a lot faster than Lance right now, so Wooder could be a possibility for a podium against Sondre and Rob right now, because Rob is a bit further behind, but Wooder's got a lot more fuel to burn. He's got roughly the same amount as Jeremy Pope has. See what Wooder can do today, as Wooder is absolutely flooring it currently. As Lance actually went into the pits and he's gone into P6, so Sondre stays ahead of him over a 1.9 second gap, but look how much Sondre's lost against a Rob, almost 8 seconds. Rob is absolutely flying, but still can't get ahead of Chris because Chris needs to pit. What about Jeremy? Is Jeremy staying out for another lap? Currently the gap between him and his teammates 21.2 seconds, so not enough time caught. Maybe a pit stop around here is around about 16 to 18 seconds compared to what I thought it was, around about 21 to 22. So here comes Jeremy now, stays out for another lap. What about Wooder? Will he go into an early pit stop? As yes he does, as you can see his indicator is on. So he's peeling into the pits. What about Chris Ryan? Will Chris peel into the pits where it'll promote Rob back to P2 of this race? We'll have to wait and see. No, it doesn't. But this is actually an interesting position for Wooder here. Will he get ahead of Sondre, or will he lose the position to Sondre? We'll have to wait and see. Is he still into the pits? Sondre now comes past and he's out of the pits already. Let's have a look. This is going to be close between Sondre, Lance and Rob. Look how close Lance is compared to Sondre. This will be a 3-way battle, but it looks like Wooder's actually managed to somehow do it, as Tim has left the session. So that's unfortunate. He can no longer make a race, and he has it on the 90% rule. It's unfortunate there, so he won't be scoring any points today. As Rob is currently 3rd place, in between his teammate is Chris Ryan. Right now, stayed out for another few laps. As look how close Wooder is. Wooder wants P3 from Sondre Sorhaug. Sondre is defending, cuts him off. This is going to be an amazing battle near the end. Sondre versus Lance versus Wooder. 3 different manufacturing teams. Who's going to be the best at their tyre strategies? See how much fuel each driver's got. But Lance wants that P3 after a bit of contact he had with another driver earlier this race. Oh, the killer still in 3rd. Jeremy now looks like he's peeling into the pits. Is he? No, Jeremy stays out for another lap on those tyres. Currently Wooder is trying to catch up with Sondre and trying to make him on the outside, but look how close they've got up to Killer. So Killer's made a huge mistake. This is almost a 4-way battle for P3 right now. Sondre must be loving this currently right now. All these fast drivers trying to pass him. Currently Rob is still 3rd, Sondre 4th. Wooder in 5th. Oh, Wooder's round! Wooder is round, and I think that was contact with Lance there, as Lance backs off and lets him through. And great spot yet again there from Lance, as now it's only a 2-way battle for P3, the 2 titans as they were earlier. Sondre versus Rob at 4th P3. Still Sondre's got that tight penalty of 2/10. Sondre's struggling out of turn 4. Sondre can't let that bother him though. Jeremy needs to pit, and currently the gap between Rob and Jeremy is 23 seconds. Currently Rob's been actually quite kind to his tyres, however he's really low on fuel, so he may go for a new set of tyres right now as Chris Ryan is still second. Chris, I know it's probably not going to be his day, he's not going to get a podium or anything like that, but could get 6th or 7th against Lance and Wooder right now. He was slowly catching back up with Sondre. There's enough laps to catch up. As here comes Rob now into 3rd. See what he can do against Sondre Sorhaug, who's still got a time penalty of 2 tenths. As wait a minute, Jeremy stepped for another lap. This could ruin his race. He could run out of fuel as Chris Ryan does pit. And Chris Ryan had actually a bit more fuel, but Sondre is not waiting any time on Rob. Sondre wants that position, P2, and he's going to take it with force. Sondre is right behind Rob right now for P2. Rob is in trouble. Look how close Sondre is. Look how much speed he's getting out of turn 3. Sondre's going to go on the inside into turn 4, it looks like. Sondre versus Rob. We've been all around this race. Sondre goes on the inside but doesn't break. Breaks a bit too early. But he's got no time penalty apparently now added to his time. And Sondre just cuts ahead of Rob. Great race from these two drivers. Sondre is now on the outside, trying to defend from Rob. Doesn't get it back through. Oh, Rob shoves him off a tiny bit there. Great driving from these two, absolutely battling it out. Sondre must have like 0.001 like 10th of a penalty right now. However, Rob and Jeremy 23.1 seconds. Jeremy has to pit. There's no way he can do another lap on that tank of fuel. And he's pitting. Jeremy is in. As here comes Rob now, still under pressure, trying to get his team a 1-2 of this race. Have to wait and see what Sondre can do to Rob today, as Wood has now come back into the pitch after that incident between him and Lance. So Sondre needs to get a move on if he wants to keep this P3. Sondre is all over him, looking on the outside again. Look how much speed Sondre has got compared to Jeremy, almost 5 miles an hour more. No new fastest lap as of yet, as Jeremy's still in the pits, as he's coming out of the pits miles ahead of these two. And Sondre, they said Sondre took P2 there, I don't know. Sondre unfortunately didn't take P2 that time. However, Sondre won't be giving up that easy. Rose now probably picked up the pace a tiny bit, starting to push, starting to groove his tyres. Oh, Sondre's ran out extremely wide. That penalty could come back and bite him. Right now, Wood is all over him. Is he going to go and have a look on the inside into the fast right turn? No, he doesn't. With these lot keep battling, Lance is going to be catching up very quickly. What is 6 laps? Oh, a bit of banging there between Sondre Sorhaug and Wood. Wood is going to have a give it a go. No attempt as his fault, but this is costing Sondre too much time. If Sondre wants to try and catch up back with Rob, he's losing it now, battling with Wood. Wood, in my opinion, should back off and let Sondre catch up with Rob and have more chance of getting 2 positions in one corner. However, Rob's got a bit of breathing space now. However, 7 seconds to his teammate. Was currently leading at the start of the race, but that pit stop sequence Rob's managed to do was let him down today against Jeremy's pit strategy, which has helped him quite well. Although there could have been possible team orders at play. Have to wait and see, but currently the gap is 0.3 of a second between Sondre and Wooder. Wooder is looking feisty against Sondre in that lonely Ford. Let's see what Wooder can do. Is he going to have enough speed on the straight to go on the inside into turn 1? No, he doesn't. He thinks about it, but he doesn't go for the risk attempt of a move. Sondre is trying to stay with Rob here. Currently the gap now 1.7 seconds. But in my opinion, Wooder is going to pass him before he even has a chance of that. Just look how close he is. No, Wooder still doesn't go for it. So still about Wooder now. Oh, Sondre's car has ghosted. This is let Wooder on the inside. That time penalty on Sondre's car has gone. Now, was that just to get rid of that time penalty, or was that... Oh, more contact. Wooder is going almost off the track. Sondre cuts the corner. Sondre is making mistakes. Sondre is bottling under the pressure. Classic bottle hog. However, he's still battling for the P3 position. Oh, tries to go for a late dive on Wooder. Doesn't make the position work as Wooder takes P3 from Sondre and now sets his target on Rob for P2 to stop Jeremy and Rob's team getting a 1-2 for BMW M6. Their team, as currently Sondre 4th, is now going to rethink his strategy and just be patient. It looks like right now he's not really getting that close to Rob, but look how close Wooder's getting to Rob. What is Rob doing? Rob's in Ghost AI mode. Something's wrong with Rob here. And he's back. Very dangerous to come back there. However, Wooder's on the inside of Rob here. Wooder's going to take the lead. What about Sondre? Will Sondre have a chance? Then lucky number 7 as he likes from Kimi Räikkönen, but Rob's on the inside, almost 3 wide into turn 1. Sondre almost thought about it, but backs out of there and watches these two scrap for P3. Sorry, P2 now, and Lance is not that far from Sondre. Currently the gap now 2.2 seconds and catching in a rate of knots. Sondre needs to pick up the pace if he wants a podium. Currently now it looks like Wooder has got a 5/10 penalty right now, which will be rounded up to a second, unfortunately, with this game. As currently Sondre is all pace at a certain point, but he's just losing pace now. As currently Rob is actually struggling now to keep Wooder at bay. Is that why I just saw it? Is Lance and Chris Ryan are catching up quicker than I thought. Well, Chris Ryan is now anyway. He's 1.2 seconds off Lance. He was around about 4 or 5 seconds ago when I last time checked. Oh, it's almost a 5-way battle if Lance and Chris Ryan can start picking up the pace and catch up a bit quicker. Jeremy leads with second place Killer, currently 6.9 seconds between these two. Rob's caught up a tiny bit on his teammate. However, Wooder is right behind Rob right now, under a second. But look how close Sondre is. 1 second as well. Look how close Chris and Lance. There's battles all over the track. Look how close Wooder is though. Wooder will be the first person on the next and the next lap to having a go at Rob. Let's see what he can do. See if he can go on the inside into turn 1. He's going to have a look for it. He's looking. Will he make the move? I don't know. We have to wait and see. No, he doesn't make the position currently right now. Rob defends and keeps P2 currently, but now it's the next little straight which has got enough straight so Wooder can have another chance. Look how close Wooder is, like literally under a 10th. Looking on the inside yet again. Rob is not defending the inside line. Alex's car is quick, but not quick against the BMW in the straight line. However, it's quicker in the corner, but look how close Wooder is again into the fast left. Now approaching the fast right on his outside. Will Rob defend this time like he did against Sondre? No, a tiny bit of banging. Shoves Wooder a little bit wide. But great defending there from Rob. As now Sondre is slowly closing a tiny bit. But Wooder's come from the back of the grid almost to now battle for P2 position. Where's he found this pace from? Because in the Group 4 series he was nowhere near Rob and Jeremy. And this season in the Group 3 he's back at his original pace from the first time he raced the GR3 season, as Jeremy's struggling, as you can hear his tyres squealing under the brake pressure and the grip currently right now. Wooder is on the inside, the final 2 corners. Rob is basically giving him the position, giving him the track position as far. Now, has this opened the door for Sondre? No, Rob's now still there. Rob's not letting him lose P2 to cost him a 1-2 position. He's on the outside of Wooder, thinking about a move. Late braking, gets the move done. Great driving there from Rob, but Wooder's still there. Wooder's going to get a better exit, cuts the corner. And that's going to add another time penalty there to Wooder, surely. Yeah, it does. It adds to a second now. And I believe that should just stay at a second if he crosses the line. Could be wrong though. Currently these lot are actually catching up with Jeremy. 4.7 seconds. As Sondre is now back into this fight. 0.3 of a second off Rob. Rob must be enjoying this battle, but frustrated as well, as this could cost him a 1-2 position. And Lance and Chris Ryan are not that far off. As Wood is now starting to pull away quite quickly to Rob right now. Currently now 1.3 seconds within a few corners. And Sondre and Rob will be going battling it out yet again for P3, so Rob could actually lose a podium position altogether. As SRL Sam is still in 7th, only almost over a minute behind Lance today. He hadn't had the best debut today in his Toyota. Very unfortunate for him today, as he's been currently matching 141.9s. As now Jeremy will take the lead still on lap 25 now, 4.1 seconds compared to his teammate in third his teammate is. But look how close Sondre is against Rob, and look how close Chris is. Chris is flying. Oh, look how close Sondre is getting to Rob. Round the outside, he's going round in the marbles. Look how close Sondre is. He's going to go for the inside this time. He's not having it. He wants that position. He's telling Rob, that's it, you've had your chance, and that's it. Sondre is on the inside, but no, Rob defends. Great defending there from Rob from the outside and holds Sondre at bay. Sondre, no, this isn't working. He just needs to get him on the straights. But this isn't helping. Now Chris, 9/10 of a second, who was around about, got in a bit of contact with Lance, got ahead of Lance, and is now almost battling for a podium position. As Chris is already within 7/10 of a second of Sondre, but hang on a minute, I've noticed why. Look how much fuel Chris Ryan has got compared to Sondre. Oh, Rob's actually not got all that much fuel as well, so this way Sondre's losing out in the straights. Now Chris could take P4 here, and Rob may be saved of a 3rd place as Jeremy Pope starts the final lap of this round 3 around Brazil in the GT3 season. And the final lap starts now with a new fastest lap, 130.8, just to show how fast he can go. Now it's basically a cool down lap because he's got a gap of 5.7 seconds with Wooder in 2nd, over 3.4 seconds from Rob. So the BMW team will not get a 1-2 today. It's a bit unfortunate from them. However, Chris Ryan is looking... Oh no, Chris Ryan has backed off. I don't know what Chris did there. I think he made a mistake. So that's going to help Sondre here. Now this is Sondre's last chance. If he wants to catch him, this is it. He's either going to have to do it on this straight or on a corner or on the final part of the track. 5/10 of a second coming to the gap is now. As we'll stay on board with Jeremy Pope, who will be crossing the line very shortly, as we'll watch his final race of the final sectors of this race. As I've almost come up to lap Sam today. Sam's been very unfortunate with this race, as Sam will be the last person across the line. As Jeremy is going to come in Brazil to win. I believe I don't know if he won last week, since I wasn't available to stream and I left. I don't know what happened last week, but however, Jeremy Pope is coming around the final corner now. Down the big main straightaway, he's going to get close. And Sondre's 3rd. Sondre has done it. He has surprised everyone and has actually took 3rd place. I have only just noticed this. Here comes Jeremy Pope to win Season 3, Round 3, to take, I believe, the lead in the championship. Jeremy Pope wins the GT3 race in Brazil. Wooder will take P2. He will be happy with that battle. He's been out with Sondre, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but the bottle himself is so over the moon. Takes P3 in Brazil. Rob in 4th, Chris Ryan 5th, Lance in 6th, and Sam will take P7th after the time runs out. He has got 40 seconds to complete the lap, and I don't believe he will have enough time. It's going to be close, but I don't believe he will have enough time. But the man who I'm going to have to give driver of the day is Sondre Sorhaug. The bottle hog takes P3. Where does this pace come from? After he had a bit of a collision, I believe, last race with another fellow driver, it takes 3rd. He's 1st 3rd in the GT3 season, 1st 3rd in the GT Sport series. Great driving there from Ford Coca-Cola Racing Team. Sondre will be over the moon with that position. Sam has got 4 seconds to cross the line. He will be counted anyway, but he just misses out. And this is your finished leaderboard. Jeremy Pope wins then in Brazil. It's been confirmed, and well, that was easy and quickly taken. As Wooder will take 2nd. Sondre Sorhaug does be counted 3rd. Rob takes 4th. Chris Ryan 5th. Lance in 6th with a 4.2 second time penalty added on to his time, and Sam takes P7 with Tim. Unfortunately didn't finish the race. It's a great driving there for the top 3, but I've got to give driver of the day there to Sondre Sorhaug. He deserves a driver of the day there. To battle Rob all race, battle other drivers, and somehow managed to get a podium today. Well, this has been International Racing League. Join us for tomorrow for IRL F2 and IRL F3 at 4:30 UK time. The stream will be active. Might be a bit early, around about 4:28. But either way, it should be there at 4:30 UK time. Join us then for F2 and F3. And as I said, for IRL F1, join us next week with GT Sport next week as well on Saturday. And if you are interested in joining any of the leagues, F1 or GT Sport, contact Sondre as Zexer, Z-E-3-E-X-E-R, on PSN, or contact me, Neil_X Rapid. But thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.